Hey, what's up guys? So today we're going to be changing the rear brake pads on my daily driver. So the brake pads on the back are toast. They have about almost 100,000 miles on them now, so they've lasted quite a bit, and I can't even remember what brand of pads I've had on it. On these Volkswagens, at least this model year, the rear pads wear out a lot faster than the front pads, so the front pads pretty much still have half-life and the back are toast. So I guess on these cars they have a lot more bias braking on the rear. So these are the pads. Nothing, not top line, not worst of the line, or whatever you want to call it, but I'm going to use Ray-Bestos pads. So here's the new pads here. So let's go ahead and pull the wheel off, and then we'll get into what's involved in changing these brake pads. So there is going to need some sort of tool. So I do have the tool to wind the brake caliper back in, the piston on it. So you're going to have to use something similar if you want to change the back pads on these, but let's pop the wheel off and take a look. Alright, so the wheel's off obviously, and this car has nearly 300,000 miles on it, so it's still running. It's diesel, so you know, this is why it kind of looks the way it does. You know, some of even the dust shield, it's got holes through it, so it's got some weight savings on it, but lo and behold, the car still runs. Obviously it's just old of age. So here is the pads. So you can see, hopefully you can see, there's not much left of it, of course. So we're saving it or changing them just in time. Definitely getting the pretty much full use out of those pads. I'm sure you could squeeze them a little bit longer, but I'm not going to do that. But yeah, the rotors should still be okay. Like I said, some people might want to machine the rotors at this point, depending on how they are, or some people might just want to get it done anyways, or replace the rotors at the same time. This is just my economy vehicle. I'm just going to change the pads. Shouldn't be an issue. So first things first, there's going to be basically, you're going to have your caliper, and then you're going to have the actual bracket for it. So what you're going to want to do is there's 13mm bolts on the back here. Hopefully you can see them there, but this is a 13mm bolt, and these are on the slide pins here. So 13mm there, and then another one right here on the bottom. So again, the slide pin. So you're going to remove these two 13mm bolts, and then we should be able to get the caliper off, and then we can drive the piston back in so that we can fit those new pads in there. So let's go ahead and take out these 13mm bolts. So you might run into this as well too, the slide pins. Some vehicles, they'll have like a locking tab to stop them from spinning while you're taking out the 13mm bolt, but on this vehicle in particular they don't. So you might actually have to use a 15mm to hold the slide pin from turning while you're taking out that bolt. The top one didn't really give me any trouble. I could just kind of put my finger there and hold it from spinning. The bottom one, a little bit tighter or whatnot, or maybe some road grime in there. But that one I have to actually use that 15mm to hold the slide pin from turning while I'm removing that 13mm bolt. Okay, next, so you're going to want to take a screwdriver or a pry bar or something of the sort and try to push the caliper or piston back as much as you can. It's not really going to want to go, to be honest, because again, this kind of has a worm gear mechanism in it where it won't allow the piston to go back in or retract. So try to make as much play as you can to be able to slide the caliper off. But what you're going to want to do after that is just basically pry the caliper out of here. Again, try to make as much room as you can this way, but after that, just try to get this caliper to slide off the pads, and then once you get this off, then we can retract the piston. Okay, so obviously we got the caliper off now, so we can remove our pads. Yeah, that one's getting pretty damn close, so not a bad time to change it at all. Caught them just in time. So let's go ahead and retract this piston. You might notice my dust boot is broken. I would recommend to probably replace either the boot or the caliper at this point, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how to retract it. Okay, so here's the kit that you're going to want to use. This one's Maddox Superior Automotive Tools. It's basically just a cheap one, but disc brake pad and caliper service toolkit. So basically you're gonna have all these different things in here, and it's like you're a little kid again. You basically take it and see which one matches your caliper. So you basically try to take these tabs here and see which one fits into the grooves on your caliper. That is going to grab a hold of it and be able to turn it. So this one seems to be the ticket. This one locks in, as you can see, locks into place on the piston. And then you go back to here and you assemble it. So let's get this all assembled and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so basically you're going to take this tool, and it looks like this when it's assembled. This is magnetic, so whatever piece you choose just sticks to the end with the magnet. You're going to fit this in here like so, and then you're going to extend this piece. And once you get this extended, you're basically going to turn this T-handle here, and it's going to retract the piston. Okay, so I thought I'd at least be able to show you guys how to retract the piston on that caliper with the broken and torn boot, but it was, even though the boot was torn, the actual piston was seized, so I couldn't even retract it to show you guys. So that one's going to get replaced, that caliper. So check out that video, that'll be a separate video that I'll do on the caliper replacement. So here's on the passenger side, and this one, the boot's still good. So if you basically set your tool up like this and you turn clockwise, it might be a little bit difficult to turn, but basically you're going to grab it and you're going to see it start to turn like this. And you're going to have to play a bit of a game of tightening this thing up, get the slack out of there, turning clockwise, tightening this up again, turning clockwise, and you basically just go like this until it goes all the way in. So basically a bunch of just steps of turning it like that, getting rid of the slack, turning it in again, getting rid of the slack, and you basically just do this a bunch of times until the piston's all the way in. Okay, so that's bottomed out there. You might have to watch out too, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have my boot bound up a little bit. You might want to put a little bit of grease or something on the boot just to get the slide nicely, because you don't want the boot to get kind of twisted up and then rip, and then obviously you're in the same situation that we just saw on the driver's side where boot gets ripped and the piston gets seized and then you're stuck. So this one's bottomed out and we can go ahead and put in the pads. Okay, so since we did go with a better brand pad, the Reassembly ones, they did provide new clips as well. So sometimes, depending on what you get, you might have to clean your old clips, but in this case we don't. We just install the new ones. Just make sure there's no debris over here. Maybe give this a quick wire brush and whatnot. It's a bit trivial, not trivial, but the preference. Some people like to put the grease on there, slide pin grease on the actual metal tabs. Others don't. Really, I mean, it's one of those things that's debatable to no end. So this one, there was grease on it. You can see basically it collects the brake dust, and I don't know if it's very efficient versus leaving them dry. So again, that's one of those things that you're gonna have to decide for yourself whether you want to or not. But we're gonna go ahead and install these and put the new pads on. Okay, so once the pads are installed, you will want to actually put some slide pin grease on these slide pins. Mine were just recently done, so I do not have to add it at this point in time, but basically you just pop those out, pop the boot off, put some grease on the slide pin, and then reinstall it because you don't want these to seize up. So that's it, and then put the caliper on, and then reinstall your two 13mm bolts, and then you're done. But you also want to pump the brakes before you try moving the vehicle, just so that the piston can come back in and touch the pads, because the last thing you want to do obviously is go down the road and the piston's retracted too much, you hit the brakes and you're pumping the brakes trying to stop. So definitely want to make sure you pump the brakes before that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe for more videos. I'm going to be posting as well the one for the caliper replacement. We're gonna have to do some bleeding as well, so check out for that video as well. Take care.
What we do here is go back.